Now that I have a new device to cast to my PC, I've been getting back into the mobile 1.3 controls. I did buy a Bluetooth gamepad which works fine, but using it while casting to PC and recording video kind of plays havoc with things, and so the rough performance is a bit of a bummer, but as you can see, I am recording mobile gameplay again. Feels good. Only problem is I think I need a new router because the casting lags and bugs out a little bit too much for my liking. Anyway, as far as news goes, Relogic in this home stretch seems to be keeping a really tight lid on things as we approach Mobile 1.4 and PC 1.4.1 release dates. Now, most of what's been posted online has been more amusing than informative lately. For instance, Relogic's Line Force was apparently getting absolutely bombarded on the Terraria Discord. He wrote, "The release date is not tomorrow. We have not announced a release date. Pinging me for a release date will not get you one. We will announce it when we are ready." He also wrote, in all caps by the way, "The update is not coming out tomorrow. Closing Discord now." And then finally, "What did I do to deserve this?" What did he do? Well, he's been Johnny on the spot at answering people's questions on Discord for a start, so those good deeds have come back to haunt him. Shame that he's going through crunch time and getting pestered with all these pings, but I guess it just comes with the territory. Malak234, trying to be helpful, said, "It will repeat for 1.5. Line 4's answer to that was, "There isn't a 1.5 planned. 1.4.1 and its hotfixes are right around the corner, and that is expected to be the end." Now, yeah, I would be truly astonished if they released a 1.5. I really don't see how that would happen, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as Relogic decides not to sell its intellectual property and retire, because finishing Terraria really means that they'll have a chance to start on something new. But it wasn't just Line 4s and Loki I was searching for. I've neglected to post actually some commentary from one of the coders at DR Studios who goes by the name Angry Hippo. And Angry Hippo for the past few weeks has been sharing a few insights into the development of mobile Terraria. For instance, Zelza wrote, "Question, would mobile be able to support mods, or would it just brick phones and tablets like crazy?" And Angry Hippo responded to that with, "Mods are possible. As long as they are under our control, we would need agreements, etc., and make adjustments, etc." Well, that's promising, coming from the horse's mouth. Ridley wrote, "I think Calamity would probably lag your phone a lot, unless you had a really good phone." Fair comment. And to that, Angry Hippo wrote, "Yeah, and got them tools they could use which support our crazy optimizations." So it sounds like there would have to be a reworking of mods on the creator's side, maybe, with some of the tweaks that they've been putting in place for the mobile version, but I'm sure if it was an option, people would do it, which is comforting and encouraging. Asta wrote, "Mobile can't handle Tmod," referring of course to Tmod Loader, and to that Angry Hippo responded, "Mods most likely won't happen soon though." Angry Hippo was otherwise pretty sparing in his comments, obviously not wanting to reveal too much, because most of the reveals are, of course, Relogic's decision whether they're made or not, but Angry Hippo did indicate that he has been making lots of optimizations and bug fixes. Sounds like it's going well. But back to Line 4s. Tyler Aguayo, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, wrote, "Line 4s, do you think 1.4.1 for PC will release before 1.4 for mobile?" And the answer, couldn't tell you that. I can't even begin to guess about that myself. 1.4.1 is being developed by Relogic, whereas Mobile 1.4 is being developed by DR Studios, but Relogic calls the shots, so who knows. HY Turkic wrote, "People gotta realize Line 4's doesn't work on mobile. I think he tested it once or twice, but he's not in charge of it. So I don't think he is the best person to ask." Line 4's answered that with, "The mobile devs aren't allowed to go telling release dates either, so there's no best person to ask." The Raven staff wrote, "The first people to know about the release date will be DR Studios, but Relogic will learn very shortly after," which prompted Line 4 to write, "Relogic decides on the release dates. They do the code work, but we determine release dates." Spooky Fancy Pants wrote, "Hey Line Force, are you guys thinking about keyboard and mouse support for mobile?" And the answer to that was, honestly, no clue. I don't see the point in it personally. If you need to rig up all those peripherals for a phone, then just use a PC. I have to agree, a Bluetooth gamepad is one thing. A portable keyboard and mouse, maybe that's a bridge too far, but then again, not everyone has a gaming PC. And jumping over to the official forums, ED209 was talking about the transition from console 1.2 to console 1.3 and drew a response from Loki. ED209 wrote, "I think that was because the engine version we were so used to was so different that it was a difficult transition for lots of people. I actually preferred it after a few days of getting used to it. The crafting is so much better." As I mentioned above, the console transition from 1.2 to 1.3 was so huge, which luckily I preferred, that it was almost like a different game, or more specifically like a sequel to a game that's the same but different. My concern is that this will be the case between 1.3 and 1.4, and it may not be a positive change. I'll have to wait and see. I might even prefer it. Well, to that, Loki responded, "I would say that any differences would be vastly smaller in that comparison versus the analogous situation you mentioned." Yeah, so I have to agree, my personal experience with the PC version is that the 1.3 to 1.4 transition is of course big, but it's not quite the paradigm shift in terms of interface and features. Although I will say that journey mode is a huge shift if that's what you end up playing with. But that's really it for now, guys. We're, I would say, in the dark news-wise. They've kind of gone radio silent before the big announcements later in the month. We're in the final stretch, of course, and as far as this channel goes, obviously, news might slow down somewhat, maybe even to a snail's pace once those next patches come out, but rest assured, I don't have any plans to shut down. I might need to shift to more gameplay, guide, and, other features in order to pivot away from news, but I liked getting back into Hollow Knight recently. I mentioned that in a recent video. And so there's plenty of content out there. May not all be Terraria content, but with the Hollow Knight sequel called Silksong on Horizon, other games like Splunky 2, really you could name a bunch of different games out there that are either out or coming out soon. There's a lot of really brilliant work being done, and so as I said, I'm going to keep the channel up. It's not like I'm going to shut down. And whatever I end up doing with the channel, rest assured I'm not going to just jump around willy-nilly from game to game. I've covered a lot of different stuff in the past, it's true, everything from Limbo to Grand Theft Auto 5 to Binding of Isaac. So I have mixed it up, but certainly Terraria and Relogic products are always going to take a front seat here, and I'll try not to jump around from game to game too much. And, let's not forget, change isn't a bad thing, so we'll see where this goes. But for the time being, I'm going to keep my eagle eyes on Relogic and see what they have to say about the big changes that are coming soon to Terraria, no matter what platform you're using. So the big news could drop at any moment. I'll keep an eye out for that, and I'll see you in the next video.